So we were talking about tech hubs this morning.
Yeah.
And we were basically, go Phoenix, go Columbus, go Detroit. We didn't have somebody up here from Silicon Valley, so here you are. Give us, what is the state of things right now in Silicon Valley from where you sit?
Well, I think Silicon Valley's in trouble. I think we've lost part of our culture, to be very candid, especially the largest, the tech players that are growing so well today. And that will come back and bite us. It really will. It used to be that in the 90s and even early 2000s, somewhere around 65% of the world's venture capital went into Silicon Valley. Today, it's a small percentage in comparison. And so the number one thing is the speed of innovation and the speed of change is double or triple what I've seen in my lifetime. The second is there's a huge flow of capital to wherever the best ideas are. And again, between the SPACs and the PE firms with $500 billion sitting on the sidelines, and they want to get into growth and technology, and they're not good at it, and they know it. And then the sovereign wealth funds on top of it. I've never seen such access to money as exists in today's world, and your ability to execute off of it. The pace of innovation is extremely rapid, but it is global now. And so I'm a huge believer when you think about hubs, they're going to occur everywhere on the world, and I think that's really good. You are the future. People say that most of the time, they don't play the hand out. The large companies in total will not add headcount, incremental headcount, over the next decade and probably two. Which means if you're talking about job growth in India of 1.2 million per month, you're talking about job growth in the US of 300,000 per month needed to sustain your new workforce coming in. You're going to have a startup economy that isn't just in 2 or 3 cities, but is across the nation. My own view on it, now remember, I'm Macron's high-tech ambassador for the world.
This is
France.
This is the only time I've ever heard. So Macron made you the special ambassador basically to promote technology in his country. Is that?
His country and globally.
Right.
Can you imagine the U.S. picking a German or a person from France to do that?
That's a cool
It speaks
job,
how quick it's changing. Modi in India, who's probably among the top 3 leaders I've ever met in my lifetime, and I've met them all. He is unbelievably good. He does his own strategy, but I'm his business partner on how do you digitize the country. And each stage is stages that he was kind enough to allow me to be a part of. And then I'm the chairman of the U.S. India Strategic Partnership Forum. The IITs, they're on fire. They're doing startups. They started 10 years ago, but now they're turning out 100 of their startups in each of their key universities per year. Polytechnique in France, the same way. So what it is young people want to kind of have a school that teaches entrepreneurship and also teaches the speed of innovation and how do you bring that to life. Then they want to stay in an area that is fun and exciting to be around, which is usually in geographically close to the universities, et cetera. Now, if you do this from a plan perspective, you've got to dream bigger. You set a stage of here's what France can look like. France can become the startup nation in Europe, from the worst place in Europe to do business, and we did it in 5 years.
Yeah.
More unicorn growth, faster.
You're more of a startup nation person than you are startup hubs and different.
I am. But the hub and concepts really work.
You didn't mention China, by the way. What's
Well, I bet my career on China in 1995. That was the right time to bet on China. I would not. Well, I'm not in China now. It's a win-lose environment. You've got to, as an investor or a startup, you've got to have predictability. You don't know what the laws are going to be next year, much less 5 to 10 years out. It usually takes, 5 to 7 years to become a unicorn on average. If you don't have predictability on that, it's not there. So if I were betting on one major country in Asia, I'd bet on India. If I were betting on 2, I'd bet on India twice. I'd stay away from China. Don't fall into the trap of selling one Coca-Cola to every Chinese. I'm out of Wang Laboratories. Dr. Ang Wan, the most intelligent man I ever met in my life, invented magnetic core memory walking across the Harvard quad. He said, John, you've got to make money as you go, and you've got to be sure it's a win-win all the way through. For 20 years of my career, China was a great partner. China is not a great partner for most of us today.
You would not be going there now. So